A 1, 2.
2, 3, 4.
Hello.
Hello. I'm bring this right here where I can see everybody can
I
hear me.
love that.
How's everybody doing today?
Oh, amazing. How are you?
Good for you. I'm doing real nice. I
Real
want to
nice.
welcome everybody this week to the True Crime Podcast, Murder with My Sister. I'm Lisa,
Hi, Marie.
and we're your podcasting hosts for today.
Oh,
Oh,
that's what the platform always says. You're
is that
hosting.
right?
Yeah,
We are. We're
we're
hosting
hosting.
a bunch of horrible,
Mm-hmm.
nasty
Mm.
nastiness.
It gets worse and worse. It's awesome.
It's so great when it just makes you wanna cry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so great.
Mhm.
So great.
It'll be great.
It'll be great.
So, I need to get ready here
Do
with
it.
my
There it
yeah,
is.
there it is. This is my I don't know if I've ever talked to any of you all out there. Did I tell you about my 1-2?
Your sonnet, your Angry Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think we
call it a
talked about
1-2
it. A 1, 2.
because Eric will say that I am having 2 beers, and I'm like, "It goes in 1 glass." So, it's 1 beer. Duh.
So I wanted
Girl math.
yeah, I wanted to have my Malibu rum, and
Mhm.
I don't really have anything here to put it in. So on the way home, I went to Sonic and I got a
Mhm.
slushie.
You did you get gas station liquor?
I
I'm so
know
proud of you. Oh,
I have the rum here, but I went to
ah,
Sonic and got
and got the
got
Slurpee.
a
I
limeade
love it.
to put it
I
in,
love it.
and I'm real
So
happy.
exciting.
I have red
So wait,
dye
did you
number
see this?
40 and yeah,
Yeah,
that looks
that's what
good.
we like to call that a hint of a waste. It's
There it
happening.
is.
Yeah. So
Ta
exciting.
So you wanna hear a story from the front line real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I met a delightful lady today.
No names.
No names. She is 87 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
baby. She looks great.
Mhm.
She looks like she's 70. I'm like,
Good for
"Awesome."
her. Good
She's
for
doing
her.
great. So she comes in to establish care, and we're talking about all her stuff and whatever, and then she tells me she's a retired registered nurse. I was like, "Oh, cool. Awesome." And she goes, "Yeah, where'd you get your degree?" And I told her, Chicago, this place, that place, I did this. She goes, "Oh, wow, you started way at the bottom and just went all the way up, didn't you?" I was like,
Mhm.
"Yep." She goes, "I got my RN degree in Pittsburgh when I was like in my 20s. And then I moved out to Colorado in the 60s. And then we started a family." And I was like, "Cool, cool." And she goes, "Yeah, I did all of my training, residency, whatever you want to call it, at the pit.
Mhm.
And, it was cool and this and that." And I was like, "Wait, like the pit, like the TV show, like Noah Wiley's The Pit?" Like she actually worked at the Pittsburgh hospital that show is fucking based off of.
I have no clue what you're talking
Oh
about.
my God. I forget where it is. So there's a show called The Pit, Pitt, The Pit.
I know how to spell pit. I mean, I
I
would
don't
have
know
done
why
it
I
with
said
1
that.
T, but okay.
Anyway, so Noah Wiley from ER, right? Noah
Mhm,
Wiley. So
mhm, mhm,
he's in a new show, and the first season just completed, and it's called The Pit, and
So it's new?
it's new. It's had one season
Okay,
so far, and
okay.
the way that they did this was it's a 12-hour shift, a 7A to 7P shift in an
Mhm,
emergency room in this hospital in Pittsburgh called
mhm.
The Pit, kinda like you or I would refer to Cook County as the county, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, I guess.
So, it's this hospital, it's a very old fixture in
Mhm,
Pittsburgh,
mhm.
and every episode of the show is 1 hour in the shift.
Ugh.
So you can
So we're
see
doing a 24 thing again.
so you can see exactly what we go
Okay.
through from the moment we walk through the door until we leave
I
for
hate
the
that.
night.
I don't hate that.
Lisa, one season, it has over 10 Emmy nominations. for the first
Oh,
season.
okay. Writing it
Everyone's
down
fucking
because
loving it.
guess what is who gets the next pick of the next show?
Who?
Lisa. I know, because we just finished one, and it's my turn. It's called The Pit with 2
With
T's.
2 T's.
'Kay, I'm
So,
adding
yeah,
it to
I
our
just thought
list.
it was so cool, like, she is a native of Pittsburgh, she grew up there, and she referred to that
Fantastic.
hospital the way that the show refers to the hospital, and I'm just like, I don't know why that's so wild to me. I'm like, "Oh my god. Oh my
Because it's a
god."
small, small world, don't you know?
Wait,
Because here we all are, and here we all are.
in the
Yep.
'60s, when she
Uh-oh, here we go.
started when she left her training, she was done with her training,
Mhm, mhm.
and she did her training like, Our Story with Richard Speck,
I was just gonna
like
ask if that's how she
5
did
or 6
hers.
girls in an apartment.
Mhm,
Yeah, she told
mhm,
we were talking for forever. And then so she leaves Pittsburgh with she gets married and she's like, I don't know where I want to end up. So she had 3 job offers. One was with another hospital in Pittsburgh, one was with
mhm.
the Children's Hospital in Denver, and the third one, Michael Reese Hospital in Chicago.
Oh, good old Michael Reese.
I was
Oh my
like,
god.
"Yeah." She goes, "I think that closed." I said, "Yeah, it did."
What a blast from the past that was.
Isn't that where you went when you had a broken foot?
I was just gonna say, I
I
think
think
that's
that's
the folks that set my foot wrong.
I I think so.
When I had to go back in the next day and they were quite worse. That was the broken foot, everyone, that we talked about in, I think, maybe the last episode
I don't know.
when I walked. No, it wasn't, because
It
it
was a
was a
while
while ago,
ago.
and
Yeah.
I walked home from school on it, and my mom's like, "There's no way it's broken if you walked home from school on it, Lisa.
Jesus Christ.
You big dummy.
Quit being a whiner.
Don't be so stupid,
Don't be
Lisa.
a whiner, Lisa.
Wendy Weiner. Why don't you go cry about it?"
We
Anywho.
need a ambulance here.
Jesus. Poor little baby Lisa.
I know, poor thing. All right.
Well, yeah, we don't have time to feel sorry for poor little baby Lisa. Oh, did you hear that?
Was
I
that
have my
you got
window
your window
open
open?
because I do. Let me close that
You
real
don't
quick.
have to if you don't want to.
Well, let's just
I don't
the
want you to
cord's
be
on that side of the
uncomfortable.
computer because no, I had the heater on this morning because I was in fucking freezing. Oh, and then I had it up to 75 degrees in here, and then I was sweating. Hello, fucking
It's
perimenopause.
awesome.
I was so fucking cold this morning,
I am
and then I
cold.
got so hot
I'm cold all day, and I'm
all day.
burning up hot all night. All night.
It's crazy.
It's awful.
It's fucking crazy.
Crazy.
All right, now I'm back.
Anyway,
Do I sound whispery and
you
pleasant?
sound whispery and lovely.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Right.
Something about this has to seem nice because
Mhm.
we're going to get into a nasty, nasty, nasty crime.
Mhm. Do you want me to state sources now so I don't forget?
No, I have them right in them. So if you follow along with me, we should be able to tag team this pretty
Okay.
nicely, pretty seamlessly. So I'm going to start us off. February 2nd, 2008, a seemingly ordinary Saturday morning in Tinley Park, Illinois. It was cold.
Super
It was
cold,
like in
yeah.
the 20s. There was snow on the ground, and 6 women, each with a life full of plans, commitments, and dreams, walked through the doors of a popular plus
Mhm.
sized
Mhm.
clothing store called Lane Bryant. These strangers were brought together by chance, united only by the fact that they were shopping that day. Their routine errand was about to be shattered. What happened inside that quiet suburban storefront didn't just stop 6 hearts. It shook the foundation of an entire community. A horrific crime unfolded, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable violence and an investigation that, to this day, has yielded no answers. 6 women, 5 lives,
Mm.
one killer
6?
who vanished. Six?
6
Was it
lives?
six or
I mean, technically, that person will never be the same. Her life
6 women,
was
6 lives? Yeah,
yeah.
stolen. And one killer who vanished into thin air. And this is the story of the Tinley Park Lane Bryant murders, a cold case that continues to haunt the Chicago suburbs.
Mm.
So my sister and I worked on this one together. So go ahead and why don't you state your sources?
So I listened and watched and Googled so many things, you guys. True Crime Garage
Mm-hmm.
podcast, Wikipedia, America's Most Wanted, March 15, 2008, was the episode. Find a Grave, Uncovered.com, The Daily Illini, EETV.com, WGN News, Good Day Chicago, CBS News, and another podcast called The Trail Went Cold, episode 364.
So I also did a little of the Wikipedia. Can I tell you,
Hmm.
I wasn't that impressed with what I found on Wikipedia. Like, I don't know if I actually used any of it.
Very little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I did reference some True Crime Garage episodes 200 and 201, the Tinley Park Police Department website, tinleypark.org, Crime Solver Central Murder in America, episode 122.
Mm,
And then I did do some like general Googling of like find a grave
mhm,
for some of the information. I want to mention like Kristen, I think, was the one that had mentioned to me that when we're using Wikipedia, there's additional sources you could say, but I don't know where and what to make sure that we're stating them the right way. So if
mm.
anybody knows, pop in an email at murderwithmysister@gmail.com and let me know. So let's talk about Tinley Park, Illinois.
Tinley Park stats. Only one murder was reported in the growing suburb of nearly 60,000 people between 1999 to 2006.
Crazy.
One murder in 7
Crazy. We
years.
live there. I feel like that can't be right. Okay, continue.
And this was according to annual reports compiled by the Illinois State Police.
Mhm.
In 2007, the year before this happened, there were no
Mhm.
murders and
Mhm.
15 robberies were reported. That's it. That town is 3 times the size of this little
Mhm.
town that I live in right now.
Mhm.
3 times.
Mhm.
We only have 20,000 people here.
I didn't realize that in 2009 Business Week voted it the best place to raise a family in America. Like think
Yeah,
about
like the
that.
whole nation, the whole
The whole
place.
nation of America
Yeah,
and that cuz remember it used to be Naperville or was that for schools and then
who knows?
well, and then we know how that went. So, and then I just wanted to mention something to keep in mind when it comes to Tinley Park. For those of you that are not familiar with the Chicagoland area,
Mhm,
we say Chicagoland is in the surrounding suburbs where
mhm.
you're able to, instantly access
Like,
or
people
commute
live there
to.
and work in the city, and it's
Right,
very commutable.
right. So I use that exact word. So there were two metro stations in Tinley Park at one of those very commutable areas. You could catch the train in the morning to go downtown, and I think it was if you got a direct train, it was 37, 38 minutes. It was
Yeah,
something crazy like
it
that.
was really quick.
So you're able to work downtown, make that downtown money, and then get back to the suburbs. And when you got off there was 2 train stops. I know that one of them was right in the little downtown area,
Yeah.
and they had lots of bars and restaurants and like a quaint little it's only a couple blocks, but it was nice. It was
Mhm,
like a nice little quaint area.
mhm. Okay. February
Mhm.
2nd, 2008, Saturday morning. It was the same weekend as Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday was the next day.
Yeah.
Rhoda McFarland, who is the manager of the Lane Bryant store, and another worker went to work to open the store. There was a big clearance sale scheduled for the day.
Mhm.
Something like racks were
9.99,
$9.99 or
yeah.
whatever. So they
Mhm.
were expecting a lot of traffic. On one of the podcasts that I listened to, Rhoda McFarland was not supposed to be there that
Mhm.
day.
That was I've confirmed that with a number of podcasts and sources.
So there, and this didn't happen for many years that we knew about this, but there was a woman named Lori who could
Mhm.
not come in due to having a sick kiddo who I guess needed surgery. So
I thought
she
he had surgery
maybe
and then he
had
had like a
surgery.
spike to
Okay.
fever afterwards.
So she calls her cousin, Laura, who also works at Lane Bryant, and asked if she could cover her shift. And Laura's like, I have a hair appointment. I'd rather not reschedule it. I don't want to do that. And that's
Mhm.
how Rhoda got the call that she had to be the one to come in or was like, okay, I'll do it for you.
Do you wanna know something interesting?
Hmm.
At that very time,
Mm.
I was working in the salon, like, not I mean, obviously, in a salon doing the said hair appointments for said people in
Yeah.
the area,
Yeah.
and I knew about that 9.99 sale because I had gotten that mailer, and I was an avid Lane Bryant
I
shopper. I it was
remember.
the only place I shopped because I hadn't met Torrid yet.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
it was horrific and frightening on a level that did I go to that store or was I planning? No, I'm not saying that, peeps. I'm not trying to be that person, but I can tell you that I shopped Lane Bryant religiously.
I
And I
remember.
did afterwards too. It was scary, but I did afterwards as
Yeah.
well.
The information about Lori and Laura was made public in 2023, 15 years after I don't know if they, like, came forward at first or
Mhm.
if it was, like, it took a little time for someone to
Mhm.
ask them, like, I don't know what that story was, but I thought it was interesting that we we didn't really know why Rhoda was there if she wasn't scheduled to be there for a very long time, I guess.
So I thought it was known that Rhoda was picking up a shift from somebody who wasn't able to work that day.
Mm,
Now, I did also listen to a podcast called Crime and a Cup of Coffee. It was a woman and a man, and they had done an episode because the man, his name is Mike, his sister worked at that store and was scheduled to work that day.
Jesus.
So I was going to source that one after because I don't want everybody to leave our podcast and go
To go
listen to
listen to it.
theirs.
I love the title,
But
though.
yeah, they're cute. I think I'll probably listen, but he was telling the story from the standpoint of my sister was scheduled to work that day.
Mhm,
She knew Rhoda, went to work the night before and was actually stuck there late, and her birthday was that weekend, according
mm,
to his podcast. And her name was Erica, and Rhoda said, "Take the don't come you're here late, don't worry about it, I'll come in." Now, I don't think that she was covering for that person. I don't think that's how that worked. I think there was supposed to be another person there,
mhm,
that Lori or Laura, who couldn't
mhm,
come in.
mhm,
But I think it just goes to show that Rhoda had told this girl, "You're here late, take the time off, enjoy your birthday."
mhm.
And she was just and that just speaks to the person that she was. She was just a very kind, very helpful, very I'll, don't worry about it. I
Yeah.
got this one for you kind of gal.
From everything that I read and all the things that I watched, that describes her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Selfless.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of the other things, and I know we'll talk about this more later, is that Rhoda and the other employee, who is widely known as Martha in stories, opened the store at 10 a.m.
Mhm,
This is what I'd like to talk about, the closing procedures, and we'll talk about that more later. Some accounts say that the drop from the night before is usually made in the morning.
mhm,
And I wanted to bring it up because I don't know, like, this, everything says the store opened at 10.
mhm,
But we know, like, I know that when I worked at the school and that we opened to the public, and when we worked at the salon, like, just because you open at 8 or whatever doesn't mean you're there at 8. It means you're usually there a little earlier.
right.
So, did they have a start time of, like, 8 or 9? Like, I wish I knew what the actual start time was
Yeah,
for the morning shift.
yeah.
And then I wish I also knew, did they did they do the drop when they got in? Like, they got in at 8, they did the drop from the night before, one of them stayed at the store and one of them came back? Like, I never heard anything about that. All I've
Mhm,
ever heard is that the store opened at 10, but the drops are made first thing in the morning from the night before.
mhm,
So, we can dive into that a little later when we start talking about theories and, motives,
mhm.
but I wanted to mention that up at the top is that, there were 2 people there to open in the morning, and that was Miss Rhoda and
The survivor.
Martha, the
Mhm.
survivor. Mhm.
At 10:08, a man posing as a delivery driver enters the Lane Bryant store. He has papers in hand. The survivor is the one who tells probably all
Mhm.
of this.
Yep.
She recalls that he was looking at the ceiling while they were speaking, which I think
Mhm.
would have stood out to me too. If I'm talking to somebody and they're like looking all over the place,
Looking all over
I
the
would have
ceiling,
remembered
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe looking for cameras. A few other customers file in around the same time.
Mhm.
Manager Rhoda McFarlane calls a neighboring Lane Bryant to see if they were expecting a delivery and maybe he was just at the wrong store. But all accounts say she was skeptical because they never had deliveries on a Saturday morning anywhere
Mhm.
for any store. And then after about 15 minutes of her calling and this guy like saying all the whatever he was saying,
Mhm.
they realize he's full of shit. He's this is
I I wish I knew how long those it took for those phone calls. Like, that's can I just say this is one of these cases where I feel like they did a great job of keeping information not out in the public, and you
Mhm.
know that there's other people that know.
Yeah.
So the person who got the call
Yeah.
at the other
But
store,
nobody's talking.
whoever they are,
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, she called here at 10:07 or
Yeah.
10 or at 10:17."
Mhm.
And they know, and they probably have told other people, they're like, "I can't tell anybody what I know, but I know that she called her at this time." There's no there's so much we don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna
I know.
talk about hold back information
I
later,
know.
but
I know.
alright, you can continue.
Then the man pulls a gun and
Mhm.
announces he's robbing the store, holding them up, whatever.
Do we know that that's what he's like, this is I don't wanna, say that, but, this
This
is
was
a
a
hold
hold
up.
up. No, I don't know that he
No.
actually
Okay,
said
so
those
he pulled
words.
out his gun and he said, "Everybody in the back."
Yes. And at that
And okay,
point, it was Rhoda, the survivor, and two other customers had walked in. I
okay.
don't know the order in which people arrived.
No one does, I don't think.
I don't know who the first two women were
Right.
besides the people.
Right,
So
right,
he
right.
takes them all in the back room. They say he had one woman bind the others, and there was a statement from someone that said that he had duct tape in his pocket. He was wearing
So
like
I
one of
did
those big puffy coats,
right.
and that he had the gun in a pocket and he had a roll of duct tape in the pocket.
And I would like to really point that out. He had that with him. So, he was prepared. What was he prepared to do initially? I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know if any of us know. Um, but I do don't like, okay? I don't like
Okay.
that he had that tape with him.
Foresight, yeah.
Yeah,
What
okay.
do they call that?
Foreshadowing.
No, I don't know. Anyway,
No. Okay.
so what they're in the back in this tiny little
Mhm.
room. He binds the last person after she binds all
Mhm.
the others.
Mhm.
And then while this is going on, two other
Mhm.
people walk into the store because he didn't lock the door. So now there's two other customers in the store. He goes
Mhm.
out there, he gets them and brings them back and binds their wrists as well. So now he's got six women on the floor, I'm assuming on their knees
Yes.
in the back room.
Yes.
And I guess at this point he locked the door. I don't fucking know.
Okay, I have to dive in here. This was a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
okay? It's the morning before the Super Bowl. They're having a gigantic sale.
Mhm.
I know because I received the
The mailer.
flyer.
Mhm.
Lane Bryant, it could be expensive and it could also be cheap,
Yeah.
okay? Like, it was one of those stores where, maybe the individual items were a lot, but they would send you these coupons where it's like, if you spend $50, you get $25 off, so
Mhm.
you're really only spending 25, so they gave you the potential to save a lot of money,
Mhm.
but
You could
this
still spend $50
sale
on a pair of jeans.
Oh, yeah, 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 but what I'm getting at here is that this was a bad day to rob that store
Yeah.
because if from I heard all accounts, the front door was not locked. The police
The
officer
police
walked
came
through the
in.
front door.
Yeah.
So for all he knew,
20
people could
more
just keep
people.
walking in. Like
Yeah.
he could have just been going out in front over and over and over again. So what is it fucking going on
Very
there? Like what the
disorganized.
fuck
Yeah.
is going on there? I needed to say that.
I hear ya. They say that he covered their heads using clothing from the store. I'm not sure if he intended to kill them. Like, why would he cover their heads? To make them less human? To make it easier?
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
this I think I put that back down in my motives area. So let's put a pin in that one and
Okay.
let's bring that back up when we talk about how he covered them up and the theories.
One of the victims, Connie,
One of the
every
fighters.
yeah, everyone that described her was like, if anyone was gonna give this guy trouble, it would have been her.
I
She
love that.
she was feisty, which I love it too.
Mhm.
At some point, she went after him. She
Mhm.
had injuries that suggest that he pistol whipped her, like he hit her with the
Mhm.
gun. She
Mhm.
also had blood under her nails, and they think that it could have been the suspect's blood because she went after him. But they say that the DNA that they collected, like later on, and
Yeah.
they sent it to the Illinois Crime Lab, they say it didn't yield anything. I don't know what that means.
Well, I know that Connie had just gotten her nails done, and I know that if she got them done and had some acrylics on there, those motherfuckers might have been sharp.
Yeah.
And she might have been like, "Yeah, I'm about to rip this motherfucker's face off."
Mhm.
I it breaks my heart that that I just it all of this breaks my heart so fucking much. I can't even see straight. And I love that she fought.
Mhm.
But I remember hearing that again, they didn't know the order that everybody came in.
Right.
Um, but that she had come in after the robbery.
Mhm.
So again, it makes me wonder like what was happening back there? Was it quiet? Was there crying? Was
Mhm.
there noises?
Mhm.
Like and then if you walk into a Lane Bryant store on a Saturday during a sale and no one, there's a ding when you walk in those stores,
Yeah,
bing.
and someone says,
So
"Hi."
could that ding capture like is that a recorded thing or is it just a notification?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay.
So there was a report that the suspect fondled one of the victims, probably like grabbed her boobs or her butt or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm. Mhm.
They never say who that was, but I wonder if it was Connie and that's why she went after him because he grabbed her.
Yeah, I
And
don't
she's like,
know.
"Oh, motherfucker, you can get what you want to go."
Right. Right.
I
She
wonder if
she
that's
went.
what set her
She went.
off. 44, 911 gets a call. Sorry, 10:44, 911 gets a call. Store manager Rhoda McFarland calls 911 from inside the store while the assailant is close by. He can be heard speaking in the back on the
Mhm.
911.
Yep.
Rhoda was able to call, they think, because she was wearing the Bluetooth headset situation and it was connected to
Mhm.
her phone.
Mhm.
So that made me think of Frenella. Do you remember when Fran wore that thing on her ear?
Yes.
And she has like short hair, so she couldn't like Rhoda's hair was longer, but like
Right.
Fran's hair was like a pixie cut. So she looked
Do
like a
you
cyborg with that
do
fucking
you
thing on her
know
head.
those Bluetooths, when those came out, and that was around the time, I could not wrap my head around there were people that love them, I think, and then other people who were like, "No." But God bless her, Rhoda was one of them. She's like, "Yeah, this is my jam
There
and
it is.
jelly."
So
Um,
the call connects to an operator.
mhm,
She's only able to say like 4 words, 5 words,
mhm.
and then the line goes dead, like the opera so I listened to the call because it was on one of the podcasts.
I so for those of you if you haven't heard it, the 911 call is still on the Tinley Park Police
Mhm,
website,
mhm.
that I did reference at the top of today's episode,
Like,
and
you
they
can
also
call a
have
1-800 number or something?
no, you can download I downloaded
Oh,
it.
you can listen to it online. Okay.
You can listen to it online, and they also have the original composite sketch and the 3D rendering, and
Mhm.
I can tell you they're similar and different. They're enough similar where I'm like, "That's the same person," and enough different where I'm like, "I get why there may have been some confusion," if
Okay,
that makes sense. Like,
okay.
it's it
So,
doesn't make me happy.
she calls 911, the operator says,
Mhm.
"911, what's your emergency?"
Right.
Whatever. All she does is whisper, "Late
I know.
Bryant." And the operator, like, she knew. She was like,
She
"Which
knew. I
one?"
know.
And she
I
said,
know.
"Tinley Park,
Hurry.
hurry." And then the operator says, hold on, I'm gonna get you to Tinley
Mhm.
Park, hold on. Don't
Mhm.
hang up." And the line goes dead.
Yeah.
So she calls 911, but it's going to, like, a switchboard for Illinois? For
It does.
Cook
You haven't
County?
called 911 so, out here, we call 911, and they ask what area you're calling, and then they connect you to whoever is in
The
that
local
area.
okay.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
however long it took, once the call disconnected for that operator to get it to the Tinley Park people, to get it
Mhm.
to the author the cops, whatever,
Right.
was like 2 minutes.
So, I did hear I see that you have some notes on there that the theory is that the suspect heard the 911
That's
operator
what everyone says.
through that's what everybody says, and I get that, and I feel like there's maybe that's from accounts that what other people heard in the store,
Mhm,
but I also wanna preface there had to be more noise going on. I can't imagine that those women were just quiet. So
mhm,
I'm wondering I have a theory on what the timeline is, but I
mhm.
want you to go through your 1046.
Okay.
Mhm.
So apparently there was a Tinley Park officer sitting in the Target parking lot. So this is a great big strip mall, you
Yes.
guys. So at one end, when you first go in, there's a super Target. So it's a great big Target store, like a big Walmart
Yep.
store would be.
Mhm.
There's some
Mhm.
other little stores like out in front on the other side of the parking lot. So a football field away. And then
Mhm.
the Target continues in a strip mall with other little stores. And then there was a Joann Fabrics,
Mhm.
like a Petco or PetSmart,
Yep, PetSmart.
and then at the very end, a Best Buy, and little
So
stores in between.
the store right next to the Lane Bryant was Sally Beauty Supply.
Okay.
I put a picture of it if you wanna use it, so that people could see, like I feel like in the Chicagoland area, there's a pretty standard MO
Yeah.
for the strip mall
Yeah.
dynamic duo,
Yeah.
and there's almost always, like, a Target, a Best Buy, a pet supply store,
Mhm.
and then the little ones are Lane Bryant, Old Navy,
Yeah.
Famous
Yeah.
Footwear.
So they make it sound like maybe if you couldn't picture it in your head that it wasn't that big, but these are ginormous stores with other stores in between.
Yeah,
It was easily like, in Chicago terms, a 2-block walk if you were walking from
yeah.
Target to Lane
They
Bryant.
said around 200
You
yards
would get in your car and drive
from
closer
yes.
instead of walking
They said
there.
the policeman that responded was 200 yards away,
And what's a football field? 300 yards?
100
Oh,
yards.
it's only 100 yards?
That's fucking right.
Okay.
I'm football mathing.
I don't know.
I am pretty confident that I'm right.
So he was
And
close, but he wasn't close. He really
he
wasn't.
couldn't run the ball there, but because definitely getting in his police cruiser and driving over there, especially, and I'll tell you why in just a paragraph.
So he gets the call, he speeds over,
Mhm.
sirens on. The
Mhm.
survivor recalls hearing the
Mhm.
sirens before the shooting started.
I'm gonna debunk that, but go ahead.
Okay, so then in my brain, when I heard that, I was like, well, did he start shooting them because he heard the 911 call, or did he start shooting them because he heard the siren? He heard, and he's like, oh shit, the cops are coming.
Alright, go ahead. Keep going.
All right.
Imma fuck it up. Imma fuck shit up.
Okay. 10:46 approximately.
Mhm. Mhm.
Each woman, so 10:44 is the phone call, 10:46,
Yep.
2 minutes later, each
Yep.
woman is methodically shot execution style. Rhoda was shot in the forehead, face on. The
Mhm.
others were shot in the backs of their heads. The survivor twitched, moved, her head got lucky just enough that the bullet grazed her neck, but she
Yeah.
went down and played dead and hoped he wouldn't notice.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know what the order was. Did she
I don't know
hear
if
one gunshot and then she twitched and she was the second one? Was she the last one? Like, we don't know.
okay.
The gun was a 40 caliber semi-automatic Glock handgun. It was never recovered, but the bullets and shell casings identified what weapon was used.
Okay. I'm gonna speculate the fuck out of this, and that's what we do here. So we're gonna let this sink in. 10:08, the store opens at 10, he walks in at 10:08.
Mhm.
This is widely known. This was not holdback information.
Mhm.
At some point after that, there were calls made to other stores.
Mhm.
Let's just say 10:08, "Hey, I have a delivery." And she's like, "Oh, we don't have any deliveries here." He's looking around. They're kinda looking like, "Why is he getting here?" I can't imagine that it was longer than 10:12 to 10:15 before she's like, "Okay, let me call." 'Cause, imagine a six-minute conversation about, "I have a delivery. No, there's no delivery
No,
scheduled for
that's like
today."
30 seconds.
Yeah,
Unless
so
she
I'm
knows the
thinking
person and she was chatting? I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so the call was made to another store. I wanna know what fucking time that call was, or if there was multiples. I wanna know what time other customers started walking in. Was he just standing there? Were they just shopping around when those first 2 customers came in?
Were they already there when he walked in?
The call that was made at 10:44 to the police
Mhm.
is available online. What was released is 36 seconds long.
Okay.
I remember hearing that the police were there by 10:46.
Mm,
So this is what I heard was that 10:44 to 10:46. I'm in the Target parking lot. Boom. Guys, and now I'm looking over there. That's Lane Bryant right over there. And this is why I think it might be such a short response time. If you listen to that 911 call, I put on my headphones today, my
mhm.
good podcasting headphones, and I listened to it. And I think what I heard was very clearly him saying, "I'm losing it." I heard that on there. There are notable pauses
Mhm.
where I think the recording was redacted
Oh,
and
chopped up.
information was left out.
Ladies
It's
and gentlemen,
the
do you know how she knows that this is possibly what's going on? Because we've been chopping the fuck out of podcasts and now we know what
Yes,
all the pauses sound
yes,
like
they
because we're
sound
really
like
bad at it.
we're so bad at it. So I think that, and this is ugly, and I apologize. I am not meaning to bring more ugliness to an already ugly story. The police are not gonna release sounds of somebody being shot. So what I think is that he shot someone and
Oh,
Rhoda called 911. And I
oh,
think this because she had that Bluetooth in her ear.
yeah.
Maybe maybe she was like, "He's just gonna rob us, and he's just gonna leave," and then maybe he shot someone, and
No,
she's like, "Nope, 911," and maybe, just maybe, that 911 dispatcher heard the gunfire and was like,
no.
"Shots in progress.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
And
getting
that's why
goosebumps, and I wanna cry, and I wanna be sick," and that's why he was there so
he
fucking
ran
fast,
over. Yeah.
because there are 9 pauses,
No.
and if you could hear people crying, and I'm telling you, I believe in my heart that I heard him say on that call, "You'll be next." So, I know what is out sounds like I'm losing it and
Mhm.
foolishness,
Mhm.
like, it was a real specific word called foolishness,
Mhm.
but when I listened to it, and I listened to it today 3 or 4 times, I swear I heard him say, "You'll be next."
Oh no.
I think he shot someone and Rhoda was like, Bluetooth call 911, and maybe before then she was like, "Let's just let this guy rob us and get the fuck out of here,"
And so the
and then
madness was
it
already
escalated,
rolling. That's the only
and that
reason she
would
did it.
for me, that explains a little bit more of how, because it's such a short time frame, 10:44, and I know you can shoot 6 people in that time, like boom, boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom, boom, boom,
Mhm.
but look at how long that just took. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3, and that's me not aiming, that's me just doing it. So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe he had fired a shot or 2 and
Oh
Rhoda was like,
shit.
"Fuck, this guy's going, he's losing it." That's my own personal theory, guys, bringing it to you here. Lisa said it, Lisa style.
You're gonna give me nightmares.
I'm p I saw, and I'm very, very sorry for that. I'm sorry because I don't I don't want to make anything worse than what was already going on.
Yeah.
Uh, but so then here we are now at 10:48. So,
So they
I
say
yeah.
10:48 was when the cop walked through the door and he was
Mhm.
gone. So I have to assume there was a back door. He didn't walk out the
Yeah,
front of
they
the
always
store,
have. They always have back
right? He
doors.
went out the back door
Mhm.
after killing them. The cop walks in. He finds them in the back. The initial newspaper and news accounts said no survivors. They did not tell
Correct.
us right away that there was a
Right.
survivor. Now, I did find she was taken to St. James and Olympia
Right.
Fields. She was treated and released the next day. And it was from her that we got the sketches of the
Right.
assailant. So now, Lisa, you and I talked about this once before because I said that eyewitness accounts are notoriously not good in terms of people describing their captors, their abusers, their person, right? And you were like, I find that hard to believe. I would be a great person to describe somebody. Blah. Like, I remember we talked about this.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
everyone says, is it possible that the reason that no one's ever recognized this person is because they got a sketch from a traumatized person? Who knows? Just one of those things. But that's where the sketch came from, was the survivor.
Right. And also, let's mention, I'm gonna go back to where he walked out. Peeps, bros, everyone. He was gone.
Mhm.
Okay, I wanna say that again. There was no one seen running. There
Nope.
were no cars screeching out. There were no witness accounts where they're like, "I saw this car swerving out of there."
Mhm.
That I think that particular piece of information is bothersome for me
Mhm.
because people are eager beavers to be part of a story,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
More times than not, they wanna overgive you information, and
Mhm.
that's where that whole, like, "Well, we can't believe everything we hear," because people are trying to be too useful.
Mhm.
But you're telling me on that Saturday morning at and this would have been at 10:45,
Mhm.
so people are up, people are out. No, not one account of all they have were those grainy pictures of the dark SUV
Mhm.
and the what was the other one?
A dark sedan.
Okay.
And
And no one said, "I saw a guy running. I
mhm.
saw a car swerving. I saw, oh, this guy almost fucking hit me coming out of there." So he walked out the back and he was gone.
Vanished.
Somebody was waiting for him because just think about the time that it takes for you to walk out of a store, get in your car,
Mhm.
start the car, and then get out of those goddamn strip malls.
So we talked about this too. I don't remember what this strip mall looked like
I went there.
before this.
I went
Before
there.
this. I don't
Mhm.
remember, like, the curbs and the how to get in and out. But it was after this, like you said, everyone has, like a design that they use for all of these big
Mhm.
box
Mhm.
places, right?
I called it
And
an MO.
an MO. So,
Thank
I
you.
do remember that after this happened, they changed the parking lot to make it more
Mhm.
difficult for you to get out. And then they started designing parking lots around these developments so that
Mhm.
it's a pain in the ass to get out so that you can't leave if you're committed a crime easily. I have run over curbs in the snow because I don't know where the
Right.
fuck the road is.
And what I'm saying is that somebody was out there waiting for him.
I understand that. What
But
I'm saying is that this whole thing is what drove us to
right.
start changing things in the future
Right.
because it
No, 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 I
it
get
was
it, I
so
get it.
easy for him to just
Right.
hop on I-80. Bye,
Gone.
bitches. Gone.
Gone. Interstate, international no, interstate
80.
80.
Interstate 80.
If you're Saturday morning with no traffic, you could be in Indiana going a regular speed limit
Mhm.
at if he left there at 10:45, he could be in Indiana by 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call True Crime Garage said that they call it what did they call it? The Belt of America?
Oh, I
Interstate
believe
80
that. Yeah, it
literally is
goes all
through the
from
center of the United States
yes,
from one side
yes.
to the other. You never have to
It
get off
sure
it.
is. It sure is. That oh, that's gonna you're gonna hear that. So okay, so go back with your what the
Okay.
newspapers reported.
So the gunman was
Oh, you got that.
described
Yeah.
as a black man with thick cornrowed hair, a receding hairline. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know
Along
about that one.
along with one braid that came
Mhm.
down over the
Mhm.
side of his face at cheek level and had 4 light green beads on the end of it.
There was a lot made of that. And I think that's a solid like that's something where it's like that's a very descriptive
I think
thing.
she would have remembered that.
Yeah.
If I was
Mhm.
standing
Mhm.
there talking to someone,
Yeah.
that would have distracted me every time they turned their head or
Right.
something, I would have remembered that.
Right.
Um, They say he was stocky, but he was wearing that big puffy coat. I don't know if he was actually stocky. He
Right.
probably had on
Right.
a hoodie and baggy jeans and all that. Approximately 6 feet tall, and he might have had duct tape in the pocket. He had a gun, obviously. At
Mhm.
some point, he had to have taken that coat off because they said the coat was longer, like it covered his butt. Like it wasn't knee
Mhm.
length, but it wasn't waist
Mhm.
length.
Mhm.
The survivor said that she saw an embroidered G on the back
Mhm.
pocket of his jeans, and there's
Mhm.
a brand called G Unit that's endorsed
Mhm.
by 50 Cent.
Well, let's
Back
not drag his
then
name through the mud.
no, but back then it was a popular, like,
Yeah. Right,
thing,
right, right.
so it was
Right.
distinctive, and it doesn't sound like they were inexpensive, it sounds like they were
Mhm.
pricey, like, whatever, but I did Google them, and I was like, "Motherfucker, yeah, it has, like, an embroidered G, like, cursive looking G on the pockets of
Yeah.
some of those jeans." The grainy footage that they got
Mhm.
of the SUV and the black sedan
Mhm.
was from the Target surveillance cameras. So, 2 football fields away, my sister tells me, they had some footage of
Thank you.
you're welcome, of of these cars in the vicinity of Lane Bryant at the time they would have expected that this guy was leaving the store. They, initially ruled out the sedan, or they were able to ultimately rule out the sedan as a getaway car, but
Mhm.
they never
Mhm.
could rule out the SUV.
Okay.
The footage was too grainy to see license plate numbers.
Mhm.
When the story was aired on America's Most Wanted in March,
Mhm.
so
Mhm. So
barely a
right
month
after, right
yes,
after.
barely a
Yep.
month later, it was
Go America's Most Fucking Wanted.
Jana
You go,
Walsh,
boy.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show actually paid to have NASA enhance the footage of whatever they were at. So initially they had nothing. And then
Okay.
after America's Most Wanted, they gave them money, blah, 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 so NASA
Right.
could look at the pictures. And even the fucking international space people who look at pictures of moons that are millions of light years away couldn't get
Mhm.
much out of it. That's ultimately where they said it was a sedan and an SUV, was from that, and they were outside the store at 10:30, and then the second one rolled by at 10:40. Both
Mhm.
vehicles drove away at 10:45, according to the footage,
Mhm.
but they never saw or could discern that someone got into the cars, just that they were leaving the area at the right time, if you would.
Okay, so we know that 80 is a short drive from Lane Bryant.
I
It
would
was a short.
say there was one light, you had to make a left, and then the
So
next
let
then
me
you would
walk
just
you
get
through the
on. Then you would
logistics.
just get
Okay,
on.
the Lane Bryant strip mall, the Brookside strip mall, I think is what it was called, is on the so if we're at I-80, Brookside strip mall is going to be south
West.
of 80, west of Harlem.
Yes.
So you'll have to turn there's a light that's gonna get you back on Harlem, and then there's gonna be a merge that puts you right onto 80. If you're again, nobody reported any speeding, so if you're just driving on out of there, maybe 3 minutes, and they had that place on fucking lockdown within hours. It wasn't just a little lockdown, they had locked down the area.
The
They were
city,
doing
yeah.
searches of stores, searches of businesses,
Mhm.
because and this is what I wanna say right now. Do you know there's, like, some controversy that this might have been a woman, right?
There w so I heard that, I read about that. When you look at the pictures, I can see
Mhm.
where if
Mhm.
it's a very masculine woman,
Mhm.
like, no makeup, no adornment, like, dressing more like a guy than a girl, I can
Mhm.
see where they might think that.
What do you I
The
mean,
voices on the 911 call,
sound like a man.
they sound like, initially, I heard it the first time, it sounded like a man, but then as soon as someone said it could be a woman, I went back, I listened to it, and I'm
Okay.
like, A woman with a deep voice, maybe?
I mean, we have all of it. We all come in different shapes, sizes, voices,
Right.
and styles.
But the
So,
survivor has only ever referred to the suspect
is a
as a
man,
he
is he?
every
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I
So we
have
know that this
to.
place was on lockdown.
The other thing too is if there was blood under Connie's fingernails,
They would know that from the DNA.
they would be able to at least they might I mean, they don't know who it is, right? But they should be able to
Right.
tell male, female from that.
Okay.
So that's my thought. Okay.
Let's get back into what this guy took.
It is unknown essentially. It is unknown what the
Yeah.
assailant took from the store besides $200 and some jewelry from each woman. We don't know how he escaped the scene. Like, he could have been up
Mhm.
in the fucking false ceiling until everything cooled down for all the fuck we know
I was literally just gonna say, what are the chances that he just went into another store, took
and
off
hid,
like a wig, and then had a different wig and was like, "Well,
maybe.
me."
We don't know his precise motive. There were no
Yeah.
security cameras in the store. While not originally disclosed, the police did manage to lift fingerprints, but it was a store. Like, there were
Yeah.
fingerprints
Yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere, everywhere.
And then ultimately, all of this information didn't really lead to any substantial breaks in the case.
So, we know that he was in there for the minutes.
Mhm.
So, from 10:08 to 10:40, let's go 40. He was gone
45,
at 46.
46. Yeah.
He was gone at 46 when the cop got there. Let's just pretend that that's the time, that's the one.
So what,
The call
32
was at
minutes
40,
he was in the
32
store.
minutes. So, did he take any jewelry from them? Did he take anything that could be traced? Did he take a wedding ring? Did he take earrings? Like, some of those
Everything
women were
says
married.
everything says that he took jewelry from them.
Okay, so then what
Where did it
I
go?
want to know more.
Where did it
Did
go?
it show up at a pawn shop?
Yeah.
Did it show up, I mean,
But
because I
they
know
they had to have looked at
my
pawn shops,
yeah,
right?
my tiny little diamond has an engraved number in it, and we got
Yeah.
engaged in not far after that, and they
Yeah.
were already doing that laser inscribed bullshit.
Yeah.
So, did he take a wedding ring that could be traced? Did he have earrings? Like, something that we can, some tangible piece where we could go back and say, "We found this, and then there's this guy who described this guy."
I'm gonna say we don't know. They've never actually said, they just make this
Okay,
blanket statement.
okay.
Immediately after the shooting and the following day, the police organized a manhunt. No leads or evidence ultimately ever turned up anything.
So, within the week of this happening, most of the women had been laid to rest. The news broadcasts were daily
Mhm.
that there was no arrest made, and I think at the time, I'm pretty sure everybody was like, "They're gonna catch this guy.
I think
Somebody's
I
gonna
remember,
talk.
yeah,
Somebody is gonna know them." I remember watching religiously, and I'm like, somebody, the picture was too, the details were too good. The picture was too good.
yeah.
Somebody was gonna talk. Somebody was gonna have known this person. And now, how many years later, it is mind-boggling to me that no one knew who this person was.
Nothing.
Not one person was like, "I know that motherfucker." No one.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So the 5 women who died. Jennifer Bishop, age 34 at the time, was from South Bend, Indiana. She was married to her husband, Brian. She had 3 children. They were 7, 5, and 6 months old when she died.
I mean, I can't. 6, I mean,
Her children were her life. She graduated from Marion High School. She graduated from Indiana University with a bachelor's of science in nursing. She had been employed by Memorial Hospital of South Bend, Indiana, and she was recently promoted to charge nurse in the ICU.
um, Jenny was also a, skilled basketball and softball player, and she was described by her fellow nurses as compassionate, caring, knowledgeable, and a very efficient nurse. And this is one of those things that, like, when you hear that somebody wasn't supposed to be working that day, like
Yeah,
Rhoda, Jenny was in town with her husband who was at a conference. She was just passing the time by saying,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go over
remember who
here.
had a birthday. We can see that.
Someone had
She
a
had gotten a
birthday and
gift
had gotten
card.
a gift
Yeah.
card, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, there's a Lane Bryant. I'll stop in there because they're having their 9.99 sale and I probably can get a bunch of good stuff." And just fuck.
She wasn't even
Just
from the area.
fuck. I know.
Rhoda McFarlane, 42 at the time of Joliet, graduated from Lockport Township High School,
'Yeah, buddy.'
1984. She was a U.S. Air Force veteran.
I think I messed up your your
A little
people
bit.
here.
She
Good,
was
I'm
a,
sorry.
Air Force nurse at Andrews Air Force Base, and then she also served as an associate pastor at Embassy Christian Center. So she was a vet, she was a nurse, she was a fucking badass. She, was an ordained minister. She began working at the clothing retailer after the Crest Hill Church closed. Her best friend, Sandra McGee, said that she was a hopeful, prayerful woman. She said, "Because I know her so well, I think in the end, Rhoda might have even tried to talk to this man, tried to help him. Even with her last breath, she would have been forgiving and trying to help him." Another friend of hers, Anthony Franklin, said Rhoda's passion was helping everybody. If you ran into her, she would just help you. She was a very giving person in every manner of the word. So, the one thing that I did hear about or read about was while she was at working at Lane Bryant, she used her employee discount
Mhm.
to buy clothes, which she then donated to homeless shelters, women's shelters, people in need.
I think she had started a program with her church, though, also called, I think it was called Princesses or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Princess,
I think I might have saw
where
that.
she, was trying to work with, young women on etiquette. And I mean, let's not beat up, "Oh, women," I mean, it's just letting young women know that it's okay to, act like a lady. And,
Yeah.
I just it was a great program, and I think she was in the process of trying um, to grow that program a little bit.
Carrie Chuso, 33,
Mhm.
was a loving wife who devoted her life to counseling teens. She graduated from Homewood Flossmoor Community High School in 1993. She was my age, 1993.
Mhm. Mhm.
DePaul University, and then received her master's degree at Loyola. She returned to her high school 10 years later as a social worker and worked one on one with students who had personal problems. Her husband
Mhm.
said, "From the time I met her, it was her smile that captivated me." He remembered meeting her at Morgan's Bar and Grill in Mokina.
Mhm.
"I couldn't stop thinking about her. I just knew she was the one." They got married June 10th, 2006 at St. Joseph Church in Homewood. They had a reception at Olympia Fields Country Club. She was
Now,
a school counselor.
she was a school counselor, like, grueling work, and I do believe I read that her memorial was at the same church that she was married at, not even 2
Oh,
years
not
prior.
even 2
I
years.
believe, and I don't wanna mess up any of the information, so I'm sorry if I do, but I know they had talked to the families, and it's just I think the important thing that they were trying to get across when they mentioned these things is that she, again, was there shopping for just a night out. So, and her husband, like, people were calling and finding out, and he was, like, on the phone receiving this news. It was just really bad. And then that poor man whose wife was there shopping from out of town, like,
Yeah,
you're just at a conference and your wife is like, "I'll see you in a few minutes."
yeah.
It it's just so,
One of the
like,
husbands
sliding door
I know.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those simple twist of fate things where
One of
it's
the
hard to
husbands,
process.
I can't remember if which it was, but one of the husbands said he was getting calls about the shooting, and then
Yeah.
he flips on the TV and they're doing like live news coverage of the store, and he
Mhm.
saw his wife's car in the parking lot.
Oh,
And that's when he called,
no.
and that's when he really freaked out because he could see her car in the parking lot.
Oh
I
my
know.
fucking heart.
Sarah Safransky, 22, a baby, a baby.
She was the youngest of them.
She was, of Oak Forest, Illinois. She graduated the year prior. from Northern Illinois University, literally, like, 6 months prior, right? Because it would have
Mhm,
been June.
mhm. Yeah.
She had just gotten her first job at a downtown Chicago financial firm and was
Mhm.
very excited about it.
Yep.
Um, a family friend, Pete, carries a police sketch, a picture of the sketch on his cell phone. He said his daughter and son roomed with Safransky at Northern. He called her a doll. He said she was a sweetheart. She worked hard. She got good grades. They think she was there just to buy some clothes because she was starting a new job.
Starting a new job. Mhm. Again, that 9.99 sale.
Connie Woolfolk, a single mother of two teenage sons, Merrick, who was 10 at the time, was disabled. He suffered from spina bifida.
Mhm.
And then her older son, Victor, was 16 at the time. She had scheduled a manicure and a pedicure. She was going to Lane Bryant to get some stuff to wear because she was going out with her friends later that
Mhm.
night.
Mhm.
She was known for her unwavering dedication to her family and her community. She had a background in finance and community development, and she was collaborating with her mom to create a mortgage business aimed at revitalizing the town of Park Forest. She was
Mhm.
trying to bring a
Yeah.
suffering community back.
Yes. Yes. So Connie is the one that we know
Yeah,
fought hard, got the DNA. And do you know, I want to go ahead and say, in all the times that I reviewed this and talked about it and looked at it, I don't know if I ever knew that they had DNA. So I want to know a lot more about the
I
DNA.
agree. Yeah, I don't think
I
I
want to
ever
know a
knew.
lot more about that. And then there was another woman there that day that we've talked about. So all speculation at this point. She is widely known as Martha.
Mhm,
And she lived, some say she lived in Mokina and was
mhm,
a nursing student that was working her way through school,
mhm,
possibly in her 30s at the time. Again, this is hearsay, maybe stuff that's leaked out. I don't know.
mhm.
Um, she was the woman who opened the store with Rhoda that day. And because her identity has been kept out of the media, it is still unknown to this day. I mean, it's probably known to people closest to her,
And
but
we don't even know her like, if she was black or white or anything,
no,
right? Okay.
no. During the robbery, she was with the other woman and back,
Mhm.
and then had allegedly moved her head at the last minute to, um, like, to miss that bullet had missed her
Yeah,
head and
either
grazed her neck.
intentionally or not, but it
Right.
saved her life.
It saved her life, and it's because of her that we have as much detail as we
Mhm.
do about what happened in that store in that 32 minutes that was in there.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So motives. So
mm,
I heard on multiple
mhm,
podcasts that, like you said, the store policy is to take the previous night's cash, which is in the safe,
mhm,
to the bank the next morning.
mhm,
Could he have known that there would be cash on premises? Because I
mhm.
wouldn't have never thought that. I would have thought there would be no cash except for like what you need to open a register first thing in the morning.
Here's the
But
thing.
it makes sense. Like, what are you going to do at 9 o'clock at night and then you close and it's 10 o'clock at night? Who's picking up
Here's
money at
the
night?
thing. There in 2008, it doesn't matter who you are or where you work or what you're doing. We had moved to a credit card society.
That's what I said. This place was all credit card, debit card. Nobody was
We
walking around with cash.
No, even if you were a person who might have been like, "Well, I'll just take out some money to have to go shopping."
Mm-mm.
Like maybe Connie had her money to pay for her nails because sometimes I still do that.
I do.
When
Yeah.
you're going to Lane Bryant for a 9.99 sale, you don't know until you get there how much money you're gonna spend.
I would be thinking in my head, "Oh, I don't
I
wanna bring
might
cash.
spend
What if I don't have
what
enough?"
if I yes, I might spend $20, I might spend $50, I might
But
get
if
there
I see
and then
good
spend
deals
$300.
exactly. If I get there and I see good deals, I wanna make sure I have enough. So
So
I always had a debit card. I don't think I had
fuck
any
yeah,
credit
you always
cards
had a
back
debit.
then.
In 2008, they were already doing online banking. So you just log into your app and see how much money you had. I didn't even have to fucking balance a checkbook. So I think when it comes to motives, I have a really hard time with the robbery gone wrong. I know that there is talk of what do they call it, a soft target?
Mm.
where it's, like, easy people to
Oh,
control,
yeah,
not
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
foot
okay.
traffic, and maybe he didn't know that it was the big 9.99 sale,
Yeah.
but, again, he didn't lock the door behind him. For all he knew, big dum dum, there could have been people just coming in and out of that store the whole time.
Yeah.
We're just gonna bind them all up, you fucking dumb shit.
Yeah.
But that's I know motive, I don't know. I don't think cash could have been the motive because it's so little.
Mhm.
Child? No, not yet. Okay. Can you hear her?
I heard her. Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, they're chomping at the bit to get up here.
Oh,
Oh,
there
because it's almost bedtime.
I know. There is, of
Mhm.
course, always, because people are assholes,
Mhm.
speculation that the survivor was in on the holdup. It was an inside job. I'm pretty sure they put that to rest. Um,
Mhm.
I heard that she, like Rhoda, wasn't necessarily scheduled to work that day.
So I haven't heard
I'm not sure.
anything about her. Like,
Okay.
they have done the best job of keeping her safe and
Mhm.
not letting anything out.
Mhm.
The only thing that I heard was recently, and that was that she may have been a nursing student. She may have been in her 30s. She
Mhm.
may have had a family,
Mhm.
and that she may have been working 2 jobs, but all of this is maze, and that
Yeah.
she may have lived in Mokina.
Yeah.
I know that I had apartments in Mokina and Frankfort and Tinley and Oak Forest,
Yeah.
and it's a small world.
Yeah.
I was a Lane Bryant shopper at that point. I was working in the salon at that point. I was working at the beauty school at that point. I knew no one who knew anyone that had
Yeah.
anything to do with this. That is unreal.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying like that I know so many
No,
people.
no,
I'm just saying
but you would have
6
come
degrees of
across
separation.
I mean, I met
Okay.
somebody today who fucking had a job
Right.
in the '60s at Michael Reese Hospital. Like, it's a
Right.
small world. You come
It
across
just
them.
it seems I think that there's just always people that wanna victim blame and shame,
Yeah,
and even in the worst crimes that there are people who will say things just to be mean and just to intentionally stir the pot, like
I
little
agree.
pot
I think
stirring
it's all bullshit.
motherfuckers,
Yeah,
to get a rise out of people, right? They're like, "Oh, she knew, she was in on it." I don't know.
yeah. And then
So
the victimology is very random. Like, if he was targeting any certain person, like, physically or ethnically, he had a wide age range. He had
right,
multiple ethnicities, like
right. And most of them were there on happenstance. Sarah was there getting clothes for a new job.
yeah,
How could anyone know that she had just gone that and she was gonna
yeah.
get new clothes?
Jennifer didn't even live in the
Connie
state.
yeah, Jenny didn't live in the state. Connie was there for a night out after getting her nails done. Her nails could have gone, "Hey, can you throw a design on there?" I mean, I'm just saying it could have gone any 10
Yeah,
different ways. Carrie was there shopping for a night out. Rhoda wasn't even supposed to be working that day.
yeah,
So, right now, it seems like the only one who may have been scheduled to be there is Martha, and we don't even know that.
yeah, we don't know for
We
sure.
don't even know.
There was some noise made about Rhoda's previous connection with the church in Crest Hill. It was called the Embassy Christian Center. She had a falling out with the other pastor, his name was George Aja,
Mhm.
over financial mismanagement. And that's how she ended up working at Lane Bryant because she resigned from the church board.
Yeah.
He apparently took out a mortgage of $859,000
Big
on the
mortgage.
church property in Crest Hill and didn't tell Rhoda. But she's
Ugh.
responsible or part of all
Right.
that because she was on the
Right.
board.
Right.
He then leaves and goes to Austin, Texas with his family to open another church.
I
So
heard he was
running
living up in his mansion up there too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
She resigns from the board and the church eventually closed.
Yep.
So now she's working and managing the Lane Bryant store.
Right.
Apparently, the reason it was even on the police radar to think about that aspect of it was because they must have looked at all the cell phone towers, pings, like all that kind of stuff. I have
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
assume. There was a
They were pinging.
call, they were pinging. There was a call made by someone who used to go to that church that she went to an
Mhm.
hour prior to the shooting, and the
I heard about
call
that.
was routed through a cell phone tower near the Lane Bryant. So I'm guessing they check stuff, blah, blah, blah. This person's name comes up, and then they realize that there, like you said, is some degree of familiarity.
So, the only problem with that is that Crest Hill isn't that far from Tinley. I mean,
Exactly. There could have been
and
100
there
churchgoers.
yeah, and there's some churches out there. It's right near I-80.
Yeah.
You could I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
It feels like they covered a lot. I mean, they actually went to Texas and talked to Aja.
They did.
They
They did.
did.
They spent they spent the money. They put in the they're still actively looking at this case.
Mhm.
All
And
right.
then, of course, some people think it was a woman. We already talked about that. I don't think so. I'm not
I
feeling it.
love that. I don't know if I love that
Mhm.
for what the story has. My
So
I
what's
don't
your
like
theory?
well, okay, so I don't like the robbery gone wrong theory. I don't like it because of the time of day. I don't like it because
Mhm.
he brought the tape.
Mhm.
And I don't like it because he made no fucking attempt to cover his face
Mhm.
and even the clothing. Like I heard some accounts that it was women's underwear that he put over their faces. So again, not trying to cover his face. So I personally think he went in there with the intent to
Hurt somebody.
hurt someone and have them not come out alive. I think he might be one sick motherfucker, and I don't know what causes people to snap, but I
Mhm.
do know that there are crimes of passion. I know
Mhm.
that there are triggers, and I know
Mhm.
that there are spree killers,
Yeah.
and I do think this would be considered a spree, right? Or a
Multiple
massacre?
mass shooting one place. I don't know.
So, I don't love robbery gone wrong, but I know that you have a theory.
So I think it was intent was to get money. I think that maybe he had a drug problem. The 911 call, it's kind of like to me, I mean, having talked to a lot of people who had addiction issues over the years, I
Yeah.
feel like there's a way that they speak, and he
Mhm.
sounds like he's off his rocker a little bit. He also it didn't strike me that he had much of a plan for keeping control of the situation.
Right, right.
What
It
was
seemed
he
very out
hoping
of
to
control.
accomplish? Like, it
Right.
seemed very, like, off the cuff.
It seems also though like he was in there for a long time.
Like,
Like if
he
you're gonna
but,
rob a
like, he
place,
was
you
unplanned.
don't
Like, he didn't know what the fuck do I do now? What the fuck
you
do I
don't
do
go in
now?
and then stay there for 32 minutes. The chances that the police that it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Can
The
you
whole
see
fucking thing is crazy.
can you see in your head, like, these women are in they're bound, they're
That
in right?
that
And
had to
he's
seem like
like
eternity.
right, and he's, like, holding a gun, waving a gun, pacing, "What the fuck do I do? What do I do?" Oh, like, I can see him if he's unwell or on drugs, like, I can see
But
the way
also
that they
then that
behave.
ding, like they're down there and now the ding, there's another customer here.
Mhm,
Boom, there's a ding, there's another like how many I and also I'm going to go ahead and say this again. Sally Beauty Supply was open right next door.
mhm.
They shared a wall.
Barely, because those walls are just fucking cardboard,
I think
you
there's
know?
cement. I think there's cement because of fire
Fire okay,
hazards.
fine. Okay,
So
fine.
I think code says they have to have
N
6 feet of cinder block between them.
Not 6 feet.
3 feet?
A cinder block's like a
Six.
foot.
No, 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 like, but a cement wall, like, so I think it's like like how my arms are.
Alright,
This is a foot, this is a
we'll
foot,
ask
this is a
the
foot.
expert construction guy out there that I'm married to, I'll
I
ask him.
think that because when we lived in the townhouse, there
Yeah,
had to be a certain number of concrete between each townhome
okay. For
because of
fire.
fire
Okay.
restrictions.
So
Bring in the
I
knowledge.
I think I wonder if he got pissed off when he realized there was little to no cash. I wonder if he's never
So did
been
he think he was gonna
caught,
get the drop from the night before?
maybe, or
Okay.
just more than he anticipated, I don't know. I wonder if he's never
Yeah.
been caught too, because if he was a drug addict, he probably did, and no
I
one
hate
even
that.
knows. I hate
I
it
fucking
because
hate
it
that.
means it'll never be solved.
I hate that.
Or and because if he died of an overdose, they wouldn't have collected DNA, they wouldn't have put anything in a
I
database, they
kinda
wouldn't have
hate that
suspected
too.
anything.
I kinda feel like we should
He
if
could have
somebody dies,
gone
just go ahead and collect that DNA right
I
there.
mean, he could have gone
Go ahead.
unclaimed, like, who the hell knows?
Ugh.
The other possibility I was thinking of, and this is just because 'cause I'm watching way too many fucking TV shows for some reason,
I love that for you.
was he told to do this or decided to do it, and the bigger boss, the bigger drug dealer, the bigger person finds out that he killed them, he botched the whole fucking thing, and he doesn't want that heat. So he's like, "I'm gonna get rid of this dumb shit, and no more loose ends connected to me." And
That is
then
very TV
right?
of you.
And then again,
That's
no one will ever
that's
know.
very t That's right out of the
So
TV script.
right now we're watching the new season of Mayor of Kingstown,
Yeah, you are.
and
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
are, and you just brought
maybe
that right in.
Milo came back from the
Okay.
dead and he killed him so that no one will know that he's still alive, and
I'm gonna pretend I didn't just hear that theory, so that's not where I'm at. I
okay,
think
if he was
if
in
you
jail
yes.
or something else like that, he'd have bragged by now. He
I
would have
think
said
so. I
something to
think you're right.
somebody.
I think you're right.
Even still, they might be able to use genetic genealogy to walk backwards and find someone who died of a drug overdose who was related to this person. Like, they might be able to do some of the footwork.
Yeah, but that's assuming that family members do the genealogy
I know.
testing.
And
So
historically, African American population, they're not trusting. They don't do that shit. I don't blame them.
right.
They don't
I
participate in that
don't
kind of
either.
shit.
At the economy that we're in right now and climate, I've heard I think everybody's done. Um, so I gotta just say again, I really hate the idea that he and I do believe that he's a drug addict. And that he died of a drug overdose. I do believe that some of the podcasts that I had been listening to, that even the FBI and the police think that he may be deceased by now.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate
and
it.
again, I hate it. I hate it.
I know.
But it takes a real special kind of psycho to kill
Mhm.
5 women, like 6.
Yeah.
And then is it like the Brown's chicken thing where we're like, "Well, once I killed one, I have to kill the other." Did he kill someone and then did Rhoda dial 911 and at that point he's like, "Well, I gotta kill them all."
Yeah. I think your theory is really sound.
Thank you.
It it
Go listen
terrifies
to the
me, but
911 call with your
mhm,
headphones on and tell me because it's the call is 36 seconds, but you could tell that there's more going on, and I'm like, "Okay, so they only released
mm,
36 seconds."
interesting.
I think they have the call that happened at 10:44, and I
Mhm.
think they might have a good full minute and a half of hearing other stuff that happened, and I don't wanna know what it is. I
I
don't
don't
wanna know.
either. Okay. So I was listening to the podcast called The Trail Went Cold.
Mhm.
So you wanna hear a weird, unrelated story?
Well, wait, are we saying that that's the story of the Lane Bryant?
No,
Are we Oh,
there's more
no.
after this.
Hang on, everyone.
Okay.
Hold your buttons.
So, a weird thing happened when they were canvassing the immediate area looking for any suspicious people, blah, blah, blah,
Okay,
on February 3rd.
okay.
February 3rd? Yeah,
February 2nd?
February
Well,
3rd?
February 3rd was the canvas.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, on July 4th, 1999, a 20-year
Mhm,
old girl, Brooke Henson, vanished from Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Her
mhm,
case is still unsolved. She's never been located.
mhm.
Years later, it was discovered someone used Brooke's name, date of birth, and social security number to enroll in classes at Columbia University in New York. It was flagged because she was a missing person under suspicious circumstances.
Heard.
So the authorities go over and
Mhm,
they find Brooke, I'm using that in
mhm.
quotes, hoping she's still alive, like she resurfaced, she was hiding, like
Right.
whatever, right?
Right, for sure.
They do a DNA swab. It ain't Brooke. It's
Okay,
somebody fraudulently using her information. This
okay,
person then takes off, but had racked up $100,000 in credit card debt and student loans. Because it's
okay,
federal student loans,
okay.
she's on the Secret Service watch list. Like, all these big agencies are looking for this person.
With you.
She's a con artist. Her name is
Okay.
Esther Reed.
Mhm.
She was on Secret Service's 10 most wanted list. Okay. On February 3rd, the day after the shooting, the authorities are canvassing the immediate area, checking out like out of state cars in the parking lots of the surrounding hotels and things like that.
Uh-huh.
They
Uh-huh.
come across a car at the sleep in parking lot that has an out of state plates. They go to the person's room to interview them. The lady provides the name of Jennifer Myers, but the ID is a fake, and the cops know what a fake looks like, right? Maybe. They take her in for questioning because 6 people just got shot a fucking block away from the sleep in. So they take her in for questioning, and she eventually confesses and tells them she's Esther Reed and pleads
Huh?
guilty to all the things. They find a wanted felon on the Secret Service 10 most wanted list by accident because they're canvassing the neighborhood looking for this douchebag. So they solved a crime that was ongoing. She's sentenced to 51 months in federal prison, blah, blah, blah. But what the fuck are the odds that
I
they're
think that's
looking for
how they
somebody
catch I
else?
think no, I think that I've heard of that other like, when they're like, "We were looking for this criminal and we caught this criminal."
How many are
I think
there?
I've heard that. I think I've heard that. I'm gonna go 3. That's the number. 3 is what my number that I pick. I pick 3. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that happening. They're like, "Well, you didn't even know we were looking for this guy and we found this guy." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay,
So
3.
they find a wanted felon
Alright.
who's
Alright.
been on the lam for years,
Go. Get it.
ironically. Okay.
Get that felon."
So back to our story. There is an upcoming
Mhm.
document that is scheduled for release next
Yes.
February in
Yes.
2026.
Heard.
So a documentarian, Charlie Min,
Is that the word they use? I fucking love it.
documentarian, yes. He's from New York. He's made 44 previous films. He's very New York. He's very spicy. He's very
I saw him on
aggressive.
the
Did
I
you?
saw him in the yeah, I
He's like,
saw
"What did you want this solved? Do you want that on your report card?" I was like, "Oh,
I
ow,
saw him in a
ow,
couple and I didn't see that one,
ooh,
I'm gonna watch that one, but I saw him
crikey."
and he does look like he's got some
He's
sass, like
angry.
he's swinging some angry fists, but and somebody should be. Somebody should be swinging some very big fucking punches right now. 6 women's lives.
Still
How many
unsolved.
count and it's not just their lives, it is the lives of how many fucking family members that were impacted by this, and aunts and uncles and friends. Their lives
Children.
will never be the same
Children grew up with without mothers.
without their mothers. Children that poor little baby will never remember his mother, and the
And
boy who had
Sarah
his mom,
they were too young to even have babies. They never even
well, they
got
weren't
to
too young
have
to have 'em.
babies.
Yeah, their lives were yeah, they were that
Anyway.
choice was taken away from them.
So Charlie Min, they asked him, like, "Why are you doing this documentary?" He's like, "Well, it deserves, justice. It deserves
It
to shine a
does.
light." He's like, "It's been unsolved for almost 18 years next year."
Yeah, I know.
But he's like, "I just don't think Tinley Park's going to solve it. So we're going to have to do something different." And I was like, "Ow."
So, here's the thing, I don't love that he said that.
I agree.
However, here's what I know has happened in the past. Documentaries have been released, and that gets renewed interest.
Yes.
And renewed interest does get stuff done.
Yes, it does.
And I know that armchair detectives, all those armchair detectives out there that are
Mhm.
listening to true crime
Mhm.
podcasts and all those
Mhm.
armchair detectives,
Mhm.
like True Crime Garage, where they're actually going in and looking and they're doing work that other people can't afford to do because their crime dockets are so packed.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so
They're
like
able to devote the time that
to
is
that one
needed.
case. So
Yes.
like I think about our
And that will
brother.
happen when this documentary is released. People are going to be like, "Wait, I think we can do something with
Yeah.
this."
I think about our brother, right? Like he gets a case. Something happens, whatever, and they're like, "Here, this is your case to investigate." And he might be able to devote one day. And then the next day, he's like, "Okay, this is still your case, but here's a new one." And then
Right.
here's a new one, and then here's a new one. And before you know it, that original one is 5 cases below what he's currently working on.
Well, I don't wanna hear that.
But an
Blah.
armchair sleuth or,
Yeah.
weekend warriors that we are,
Weekend warriors, yeah.
we only have one thing to
I
focus
mean, I'm
on.
not a weekend warrior.
I'm just saying. But we only have
Okay.
one thing to think about. We're not
I'm a
distracted
weekend
by more.
storyteller.
Weekend
Mhm.
storyteller.
I'm a weekend storyteller.
So Charlie Min is, I think, I don't understand this, but he says he has reached out to the Tinley Park police and no one will talk to him. Not the detectives assigned, not the chief of police. Like, nobody will respond to anything.
I did see that, and I
Why,
wonder
Lisa?
I
Like, think about
wonder
Delphi. I
okay,
mean, that guy was out and talking to the media every chance he got. Like, why wouldn't you want the exposure?
have to wonder if the survivor has anything to do with their protectiveness, keeping her safe in the event that this person is still alive,
Hmm,
keeping her safe at all costs, right?
I guess.
And then also, like,
I hear she doesn't
a
live in
lot of
Illinois anymore.
no, I did hear that as well. I know that there are some police men and women, police people
Mhm.
that say that they haven't gotten to the point where they realize the media is their friend yet.
I would agree with that. They've
And I
been
do
burned.
believe, yes, I do believe that is because of the way that the media portrays people
Mhm.
in real specific cases where it's like, you're guilty by
Well,
what is it called? Guilty in the eyes of the media or the
yeah,
public court of public opinion.
but the
So I
other thing
feel like
is, once you give an interview to somebody, like, if I were to do an interview with Fox News right now or something like that,
I would be so fucking happy for you.
but I have no control over what they use, and they can
Correct.
twist my words and make it
Correct.
sound like, and I'll be like, "I never fucking said that."
Do you know that's what Scott Peterson says they did with every one of his interviews, is that they edited and twisted it and made it so that it came completely out of
Scott,
context. And
if
I
you're
was like,
listening, thank you for listening
um,
because we need all the listeners, but
he's
Scott,
not.
fuck off, and when you get there,
I
fuck a little
think
more off.
oh my
Fuck
god,
you, Scott. Anyway.
and so I think maybe the police are hanging on to some stuff.
So what
Okay?
I
Maybe
found
some
out,
trauma.
so the current chief of police, his name is Thomas Tilton. He won't respond, blah,
Oh
blah, blah.
god.
He
You
was
just name
named,
dropped.
I mean, he's the chief of police. Okay.
Okay.
He was named the chief of police in 2023 after the previous one resigned
Mhm.
abruptly. He was
Okay.
out for vacation for 2 weeks and then submitted his resignation.
Mhm.
The patch
Fucking love the patch.
the patch said that the
It
previous
tells me
guy,
every drunk driver every night.
I know. The patch said that the previous guy, he was out for 2 weeks on vacation. He
Mhm.
resigned as the chief of police from Tinley Park, and then
Mhm.
before his vacation was even over, so less than 2 weeks, he was sworn in as the police chief for Indian Head Park. So he just noped out of Tinley and took another job. So then this guy, Thomas Tilton, is given interim police chief in 2023,
Mhm.
and now he's still
Mhm.
the police chief.
Okay.
This southlandnewsgroup.com posted an article saying on August 7th, there was a meeting of the Metropolitan Alliance of Police, um, which represented the Tinley Park officers. They wanted Tilton, in quotes, immediately removed after a no confidence vote. Mayor Michael Glotz was absent from that meeting but had plenty to say at the August 19th board meeting. He spent a few weeks researching items to refute many of the 63 complaints about Tilton's performance. Now, one of the article's things that I watched with Charlie Min said that he started doing the filming and the back work and all the stuff for this upcoming documentary in August.
Okay.
Could it be as benign as this guy's getting run out of office because nobody's happy with him and he's just trying to keep his fucking job? So he talking
Could
to
be.
anybody?
Could be.
He's just
It
not
could be.
talking. He's like,
It
dude,
could
I'm
be.
just trying to keep a job.
It doesn't always have to be salacious
Malicious.
and
Yeah.
malicious. It
It could be
literally
just bad timing.
it could be. Um, it could be. I don't know. I wish that they found someone.
I agree.
for this crime. I wish that there was closure. I wish that there was closure on a lot of cases. I this one hits especially close to home because it was in our area
Yeah,
because
because it was home.
all of the people are from areas that I knew and or worked in or had
Rhoda
lived
went
in,
to the
and
same high school as my kids.
I
What
know.
the fuck? Like, what the fuck? How crazy.
She lived right around the corner, like,
Yeah,
right in the next town over. It's
I
just
know.
it just sucks.
It sucks.
So I did go to the strip mall,
Well, I've
and
been there. I mean, not
no,
recently, but
since
I've been
then,
there.
like, oh, yeah, I went there since the shootings,
Yeah.
and there's another store there.
So they say that it
I
was
know,
empty for years, and
I know.
then TJ Maxx
Mhm.
bought the
Tore it
space or
down.
whatever. But they say that no one disclosed that to the developers that had happened. I don't know how that's possible, unless they're not from here, they're developing from another state. And then Lane Bryant did reopen their store, but they reopened it, like, on the other side of the parking lot, I think, in a different building. It's not in the strip mall that it
Is
was.
the
I
I
think
am
it's
not gonna
across the
yeah,
way.
I'm not gonna make the decision, but is that in poor taste?
I don't know.
Or does the community want them
To
back there? I don't
Right. I
know.
don't know.
Guys, I don't fucking know. I don't
I don't know.
fucking have to know. You know what I do know?
Hmm.
We did not laugh a lot in this episode.
No, we didn't. I
We
agree.
did not I did not have a lot of jokes at
I
all
did
in this
not.
episode.
I
Okay.
agree. I except
This
for
was not
Fran and the cyborg ear. That
mm,
was all I had.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm,
So, this is an unsolved mass murder.
yeah.
If you have any information, no matter how small, please, please,
Any
please call the
please.
tip line. They say the reward in this situation is
Yep.
very unique, that there is
Yep.
no reward for a conviction.
Yep.
Any information
Yes.
leading to
That
catching a
leading to an arrest. Yes. Yes.
$100,000.
And can I also tell you that they are convinced, the police are convinced that they just need that one they're like,
Yeah,
we're right there.
yeah,
We know we just need that one little missing
yeah.
piece of information.
It's like that girlfriend in the Palatine Brown's Chicken thing. Like,
Mhm.
all they needed was to go back, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'll give you everything now that he's not here to fucking beat me anymore and whatever."
Do you know Do you know when I'm gonna bring this up when we were talking about doing it and I said that there was a disturbing fact that they mentioned in TCG, and then I said, "But I'm not gonna tell you. You're all gonna have to tune in." And then I listened to it and I was like, "Well, never said it." So, one of the things that was mentioned in that crime that made it so that they were able to convict those people, because remember we talked about how the one guy there was circumstantial evidence and the other guy
Mhm.
there was DNA, but only that he had eaten there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The girlfriend, the one who came forward years later, and this is,
Yeah.
I think, part of the reason they got the conviction, had told them a detail that they held back, a holdback detail. And when I said it was very disturbing to hear, it was that one of the people that was there that was shot threw up. They found vomit next to them.
'Cause they were shooting the other people and the person got
And
sick.
yes,
Ugh.
yes. And
Oh, that's so terrifying.
I remember when they said it and they're like, "It's really hard to hear this." And I'm like, "It's not like something where you're like, oh, that was a gruesome detail or oh, but it's so real."
It's
It's
visceral. It's
it's very
visceral,
yes, and you're just thinking and what it does is make you realize what
the terror.
you can't process what's going on in their minds at that time and in their hearts, and their body reacted
Yeah,
in a completely natural way, and she knew that information, and that's how they were able to convict.
that's
So we
crazy.
say that knowing someone out there may have that one piece of
Mhm.
information that could get
Well,
this case solved.
like you said, the snippet's missing and maybe he shot someone and then that just
Yeah, and
escalated, like,
that's yeah,
that
yeah.
could be the detail that they're withholding
Thank
that
you.
this new person
Mhm. Might know.
you
Might
might
know. Everybody go listen to it. Go listen to it and then let me know what you think at murderwithmysister@gmail.com, because I wish that my sister would go listen to it too. I'm telling you, no one had ever released that he said, "You'll be next." And I'm
yeah,
telling you,
you can
with
hear it.
no, I never saw it anywhere, but I heard it clear as a bell.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I wasn't making this up based on something else I heard. This is what my
So
own ears heard for the first time,
the
and my
tip
ears are deaf.
I was just gonna say, and she's got a hearing issue.
I'm listening with bad ears.
So the phone number to the Tinley Park tip line is 708-444-5394. There's an email address, Lane Bryant, all one word, dot tipline, TIPLINE, all one word, at tinleypark.org. And then if you want to look at the trailer, because I watched it for the upcoming documentary by Charlie Min, the website for the documentary is Tinley 5, the number 5. So thetinley5.com. And everything's up there.
And there it is.
And
There's our
there it is.
sketch. So you have all the pictures that I uploaded for you to
Yeah,
use?
yeah.
Okay, so thank you everyone for listening. Great job, Sissy. Sorry to bring everybody way down with this one, but we
Mm,
thank you all for listening. We thank you for the people that are coming back. We thank you for the people that we don't know
mm-hmm.
because we've had over 1,000 listens at this
I
point,
know, it's crazy.
and we're having people from different countries listening. So we
Yeah.
hope that you all keep listening while we keep getting better, and have yourselves a happy holidays at this point.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Executive produced by me, Marie Abenante, and my sister, Lisa Linsner.
Music by John Bartman, track Shooter on the Roof. Cover art by the talented and beautiful Alexis Guerrero.
And all of this is possible editing and recording using Riverside.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.